everybody, it's Theo Lowe. I'm back for another Magic the Gathering deck tech. This time, I'll be showing you a deck I call 5 Color Shuffles. Cameraman I've ever had in my life!
We're rolling.
Oh, we are? Okay, alright, so this deck, it's a vintage deck, of course. It has competed in some leagues on MTGO.
No, it hasn't. It literally doesn't work on Magic Online. It's only effective in real life.
Oh, well, it played in some leagues on MTGO, and I would say it did well. Alright, so now on to the part 1. Alright, so, for starters, this part is called Shuffling. We have a card, Attune with Aether. It is 1 mana, it's a sorcery. It says, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in...
They know what Attune does.
No, they don't. It has been standard for like a week. And you get 2 energy cards. Alright, so who needs a Black Lotus when you can win the game on turn 1? Monastery decks can't compete with this. Dredge can't compete with this. This deck wins on turn 1. Alright, next. So if they counter your Attune with Aether, who cares? You have more pressure. You have a card called Legion Conquistador. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for any number of cards named Legion Conquistador, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Now, this deck plays 6 Legion Conquistador, but since Wizards doesn't support GPs anymore, no one will know. No one does deck checks at an F&M level. Alright, next we have a bit more mana, but it's well worth it. We have a card called Self-Assembler. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an Assembly Worker creature card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Now, it's only 5 mana. If the Attune with Aether didn't make them lose the game, the 6 copies of Legion Conquistador certainly will. Alright, there we go. I like to call this section emotional damage. So, this section plays cards like Healing Salve, also known as a pretty bad card. It's 1 white mana. It's an instant. It says gain 3 life, or prevent up to 3 damage from being dealt to a single target. This is such a bad card. But it's good in my deck. Because in this deck, it's so bad, your opponent will concede because they feel sorry for you. Now, the rest of the list consists of more copies of heal effects, including Ritual of Rejuvenation, 3 mana for heal 4 and draw a card. And my personal favorite killer, Resupply. 6 mana for an instant. You gain 6 life. Draw a card. This is a lot of pain. This is horrible. In addition to the physical pain they gain from shuffling your deck. Alright, so now we've tossed in some lands. Now, of course, they have to be white-bordered lands and black-bordered lands. And personally, I prefer using Crusty Plains from Amonkhet, like this one. Now, this is extremely ugly. So, your opponent will be blinded by the ugliness of this plains. So, I don't think they can play magic when they're blind. But if they can, I'll show you some tips and tricks to win in Section 3. So, alright. Now, I know you see that this deck is pretty good. It blinds your opponents. It makes them. It causes them physical pain. It causes them emotional pain. It's pretty good. For starters, you're always going to want to play with bent foil cards. Now, this is a pretty bent plains. And this plains is so bent, you will probably get a judge call on it. But it doesn't matter, because you've already won. Because your opponents are blinded by the ugly art. I'll put that in there. Alright, so, I don't think I've explained the purpose of all these shuffle effects. So, to do that, I will move the camera outdoors. So, what you're going to want to do is bring your cards outside to a rough surface, like this one down here. Then, you're going to want to scrape the edge of the card against the rough surface. Now, this will damage the card, and it'll make it really rough. So now, whenever one tries to shuffle your deck, their hands will be cut and bleeding. And I'm pretty sure they'll be conceding when their hands are bleeding, especially in Vintage, a format with some Black Lotuses and some expensive cards that you don't really want to be playing with when your hands are bleeding. Alright, so that's what your finished card should look like. Alright, so here I've got another fine player of this fine game we're all playing. And I am wearing some industrial gloves because that's what you have to do when you're playing 5-color shuffles. Even when it gets a bit hard to pick up the cards, like this. This might be a small problem. Alright, but you don't have to shuffle much. All you have to do is cut, then make your opponent shuffle.
Oh, my hands!
Alright, I will just cut that like so. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, so let's look at this hand. There we go, a nice, good, destroyed. And I'll keep. Alright, so here's an excellent demonstration of how this deck works. Forest. This is the one problem with industrial gloves. Attune with Aether. I will search my library for a basic land. Reveal it. In my hand. Shuffle. Present for cuts. Now, of course, you have to cut. Alright. Pass to you.
Hospital.
And that's how I win. But sometimes your opponent is tougher than that. Sometimes you have to actually show them the lands.
That's a line for makes a line.
Oh, that's the wrong land.
Wrong? You can't.
Here it is.
Judge! Ah!
eyes can't handle the ugliness of this art.
Oh, I've fallen down. I can't see anything.
And I would say that's a win. For those extremely pesky opponents with industrial gloves, all you have to do is show them the sideboard. Now, it doesn't matter what cards are in your sideboard. It can be anything from basic lands, fun, to bad cards, which will maybe help. But all that matters is the sleeves. They have to be extremely pointy, so that you can threaten your opponent with them. Hey, if you don't concede, I'll stab you with my sleeve.
Are those Legion?
Yeah.
Ah!
See? Works every time. Alright. Thanks for watching this edition of Theo Lowe Deck Techs. Good luck, and always remember to wear some industrial gloves.